So OBJ just signed with the Miami Dolphins. It's a 1 year contract worth $8.25 million. I don't know who OBJ's agent is, but he's definitely in an elite category because OBJ should not be getting $8.25 million, especially for what he did a year ago. He was fine a year ago for the Ravens. He made some plays. He had like a big catch a game, essentially, maybe two. Pretty sure he got like around 500, 600 yards last year, 3, 4 touchdowns. Honestly, that's definitely an overpriced contract and an overpriced tag, but that's, yeah. I mean, for me personally, if I was a GM, I'd pay OBJ max like 2 mil, maybe 3. Again, 8.25 is crazy, but good news, obviously, it's only a 1 year deal, so it's off the books after a year, so I guess it is what it is. I don't know. I think it's just kind of stunning how he's still kind of getting jobs. I mean, so much talent is coming out of the draft nowadays with football just being purely offensive. There's so many more receivers, and that's going to be a trend in every draft to come. Every single round, there's going to be value to get a receiver. And, like, OBJ has had a lot of injuries, and, he's still athletic. He can still ball, no doubt, but he's nowhere near his prime. And, like, you're telling me that, like, a 24-year-old, 23-year-old isn't as quick as him, can't move like him, not faster than him. Fair play, OBJ still might have better hands, better ball skills, and better instincts, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Kind of strange if you think about it from that perspective, but the Miami Dolphins obviously wanted him, and they got him. Dolphins fans, let me know what you think about this, because I don't know. I feel like some would probably be okay with it, and some would be like, we don't want that guy on this team. OBJ is definitely one of the most hated players in the NFL. Definitely one of the most polarizing ones, even though, he's nowhere near like what he once was. But he definitely showed some elite flashes of his prime when he got traded to the Rams, but then again, Super Bowl, he has that huge injury, and with the Ravens last year, again, he looked fine, but I don't know, just a weird move in my opinion from the Dolphins. So right now, the Dolphins receiving room is essentially Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and OBJ. 2 out of 3 of those receivers are definitely quite injury prone. This is a good offense for OBJ to kind of succeed. I mean, who wouldn't want to be a 3 in this offense, especially with Tyreek always taking the safety over the top. There's so much room to work underneath for just short routes to really get a lot of yak, honestly. Other Dolphins news, kind of interesting how this hasn't really been talked about. I feel like Dak Prescott has kind of taken the spotlight away, but it's kind of like the most well-known secret, but no one's really talking about it right now, which is strange to me. Tua is on his last year of his contract, and they still haven't paid him. And a lot of people thought the Dolphins would add a quarterback early in the draft, but unfortunately, 6 quarterbacks go in the first 12 picks, which is ridiculous. First time in the history of the NFL, obviously, but point is, like, there's a lot of uncertainty here, and I don't know. Dolphins fans, do you pay Tua? Do you not pay him? I'd feel a lot more comfortable if you had a quarterback waiting, or if you drafted a guy, because right now their backup is Mike White, and he showed some flashes with the Jets. Obviously, I don't think he's a starter, but he seems like a capable backup. He's also a free agent after this year, by the way, but I don't know. It'd be a lot easier if they had a guy rather than not having a guy, because you might be in a tough place. You might be in a tough place, but who knows? They could always address it in next year's draft, which I'm sure they definitely will, because if Tua gets hurt this year, or if he doesn't look great, or if they have another year where, sure, they make the playoffs, but the first wild card game, he's throwing duds and ducks, and he looks completely awful. Why would you pay him? Just why? Just part ways. Like, the quarterback market is so massively inflated. It's a waste of money. Like, just move on, draft a guy, get that draft contract, that 3-year, 4-year window where you don't have to pay your quarterback, build around him, and just run it, But we'll see what happens there. Let me know what y'all think they should do. What would you do? One last thing about the Dolphins that was pretty interesting is that the Dolphins drafted another running back in the 3rd round, Jalen Wright from Tennessee. A lot of people think he could be a good back in this league, and I just think that's a really, really interesting pick. I know Mike McDaniel comes from the Kyle Shanahan tree, so obviously Kyle Shanahan, his specialty is that zone running, heavy run game. And, Mike McDaniel is obviously a heavy believer in that. But, you already have an elite back in Raheem Mostert. You have Devon Achane. You have Jeff Wilson, too, trying to compete for a spot. And now you add Jalen Wright. Like, that's at least, 3, solid running backs right there. Achane could easily be a starter. Right now, Mostert is the starter, and, you got Jalen Wright, so he's going to come out full speed. He's only 21 years old, so you're going to get the best out of him this first years in the league, so I don't know. I just think that's really interesting. It's not a bad thing, obviously, and I trust Mike McDaniel, and I'm sure everyone involved with the Dolphins and the Dolphins fans have seen that. Obviously, the Dolphins have an elite run game, so why not add depth? But I don't know. It's just kind of interesting how they keep piling on, because Jeff Wilson, he's the 4th RB right now, and he's pretty good too. He's not as good as the first 3 guys I just mentioned, but he's pretty good. And to, have to cut him and, have him go to, a team in your division, I don't know, but yeah, overall, just an interesting draft choice. It's not like they picked him in the 1st round or the 2nd round, but still, he was a 3rd round pick, so definitely up there, but we'll see what happens in the Miami Dolphins backfield. Let me know what y'all think about that pick. Who do you think should be the starting running back for the Dolphins? And let me know how you feel about them going into 2024. That's all I got for right now. Peace.